Alright, so before you guys see this video, before I roll the intro, before I say anything else, I need you to know that we filmed this before. We had a lot of arguments, so it's going to be a long one. It's a doozy. But we talk about all our rankings for this year's event. House-wise, the Scare Zone video will be coming out probably tomorrow or the day after. So stay tuned. See you guys real soon and roll that.
Wish that you could build a time machine so you could see the things no one can see. Feels like you're standing on the edge, looking at the stars and wishing you were them.
Alright, so my number 10, we're going houses, like I said already.
We're doing houses first.
We don't know each other's lists to add to the flavor of last year's events that we did. Okay, so my number 10 is Graveyard Games. Now, this isn't because I think this is going to be a bad house. I just feel like the other houses that are here could possibly be better than this one. But that's just how I feel. So, don't want to go that much into detail into it. So, go ahead, Nico.
That's wild. My number 10 is House of a Thousand Corpses. I actually, on my paper that I threw away, I had Graveyard Games as 10.
Yeah, on my paper that I had
Even though
written
I
down,
don't,
I had
I don't really
House
care
of a
about House of a
Thousand
Thousand Corpses, but I was like, you know what? It's going to be the goriest thing there, so I got to put it ahead of it. But no, I switched it back because I was lying to myself. I have House of a Thousand Corpses at number 10 because I don't really care for Rob Zombie movies that much. Nor do I care for his music. Nor do I care for this house right now. So I'm sure it'll be good. Right now, I'm not excited for it. So that's my number 10.
Alright.
Alright, so number 9, I'm going to do my number 9 first. So I kind of spoiled it a little bit, but my number 9 is Graveyard Games.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I'm actually really interested in it, and I don't think in my head or the summary of it is probably doing it justice at all. It's probably going to be a lot better than the summary and what I'm thinking it's going to be like in my head.
I wish it was better defined.
I'm just not, as far as like excitement goes, it's just at the bottom for me right now. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
And
I'll go with my number 9. It's House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, like he said, he had a paper he threw away that had Graveyard Games at number 10. I had a paper that I threw away that had House of a Thousand at number 9, and then, or 10, whatever. You know what I mean? Before, when I saw this on the rumor map, I wasn't excited. But then I rewatched the movie, and I'm like, this can transition well into a house. And then I saw on Twitter them saying this is going to be a very gory house. So I feel like it'll be done pretty well. But yeah, so
that's it.
That's about it, yeah. I'm more excited. So number 8, my number 8 is Yeti, Terror of the Yukon. Yukon, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
It's not Yucca.
Terror of the Yucca. It's just a fucking, like, forest of fucking, like, yucca trees.
Yucca trees, yeah.
Just a bunch of yucca trees everywhere, and then there's a Cuban.
And they're trying to sell it to you.
Yeah, they're like,
Yucca?
Yucca!
Ah!
Yucca! Ah! No! No, that's not okay! No, but, I love the Yetis from last year's Slaughter Cinema, but the fact that they have a full-fledged house and it's just this and it's not Slaughter Cinema is really what killed it for me. That's why it's my number 8.
Okay.
I'll
let you finish. My number 8 is Ghostbusters.
Wow.
I'm very much so excited for it. It just happens to be that I'm very much excited for a lot of things here. I don't know. In my head, I think I know what to expect from this house, and that's why I'm not excited. But at the same time, what I'm expecting, I don't think is gonna happen. If it does, then so be it. I think it'll be good. But yeah, what I expect in my head is what I think is gonna happen, and that's why it's so far down it. But I think it's gonna be really good.
Egg on.
I think I fucked my list up a little bit. We're not gonna talk about it.
All right, you go with your number 7 now.
No, it's your 8.
I already said my 8. I just said
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's your number 7.
Hold on, give me a second.
Sir.
Give me a second. No, we're good.
Yeah, number 7.
Okay. So my number 7 is Universal Monsters. I was really excited for it, and I'm still very excited for it. But once again, which seems to be the theme with everything I say, is I have this thing in my head that I've seen the Universal Monsters in not whatever, separately and in videos of things, from the California. It is California. The Hollywood,
House with Thousand.
year-round house that they had.
House of Horrors.
Yeah, the House of Horrors. I've seen videos of that so many times. And you had the parts where they were in Jack's house.
Jack presents 25 years of Monsters and Mayhem.
So, in my head, I'm just constructing the house in my head and I'm imagining seeing them, and this is just where they ended up on my list.
All right. Wow, that's your number 7?
Yeah.
All right, my number 7 is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Now, I loved the Scare Zone. It was probably one of the best Scare Zones we've had in years. But if you go into this wanting the Scare Zone, you're going to be disappointed. Because there was so much interaction between all the clowns and the people and all the scare actors. It's a good movie. No, it's not. It's a fun movie. And I just feel like it won't really stack up well to the other things that are underneath it, like above it. So, yeah, that's about it. So I'll go to my number 6.
Yeah.
This is where Horror Nights social media kills me. My number 6 is Stranger Things. I loved season 3. We even made a video about it, and I don't make review videos. If you haven't checked it out, I'm gonna just put a link to it somewhere. It's a great show. I didn't think last year's house was the best house ever, but I feel like this year will be a lot better than last year's house. That's my bold prediction for the year.
That's not a bold prediction. It's a shitty prediction. My number 6 is also Stranger Things.
Wow. Wow. What are the odds?
Besides what he said, this season of Stranger Things was much more scary and catered to what Horror Nights is about, really, which is horror. Like before, especially the first Stranger Things house was about season 1, and that was the least scary of them, and the most. I mean, it was the first season, so they were just getting their feet wet with the show and what they could do. So now they know exactly what they could do with the show. They know their limits.
So they just dip their toes in the puddle.
Yeah, they went all out, and I think it's going to be a lot scarier. I saw on Twitter that
it's going to have the biggest monster.
The biggest, Horror Nights monster in Horror Nights ever. So it's obviously going to be the Mind Flayer. So
no, it's just going to be a giant Billy, like for no reason.
It's just going to be Dustin singing.
No, it's going to be
giant
there. It is.
Dustin
there
singing.
It's going to be.
That'll be okay.
The
thing is, I actually, no matter what I rated the first house in our video that we rated or that we listed things, I think the first house was actually pretty good. I think people.
It was like ranked 7.
I think people really gave it too much shit. I thought it was a lot scarier than people made it out to be, but maybe that's just me.
It was just a lot of black walls. That's why it was so rated.
I think people gave it a lot of shit, and that. But whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I think this year is going to be much better with the Mind Flayer and what they could potentially do with Billy, and with the kids too being a little more grown, so that they could be so diverse. What?
This video's going to be so long.
The cast could be so diverse instead of having small children-looking adults play them. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, I think Stranger Things as my number 6.
Your number 5?
My number 5 is Yeti Terror of the Yukon. I have recently gotten more and more excited for this because my initial reaction to it and thoughts were that it was going to be like, or not be like the one from Slaughter Cinema, but that's just the only
comparison.
That's the only like thing that we had with the Yetis in our mind. That's the only thing that's all we knew they looked like. We don't know anything else really besides the description. But from putting things together, from what they said, the summary of it, I think I might shit myself in that house. I think the Yetis are going to be really scary. And then it being in the, the Yukon, it's a snowy, large cabin.
Canada!
Yeah. I think it's going to be really scary, and I'll say something at the end, actually, so never mind. But yeah, that's my number 5.
All right. So, my number 5 is something that wasn't on the speculation map at all. It's Us. I think this movie's phenomenal. I think it's one of, if not the best horror movies to come out in the past 5 years. And I really think it's going to transition well into a haunted house. It just, everything this movie has lends itself to be a haunted house. But there's a lot of psychological horror too, so you have to really see how they do this. But I think the scenes for this, the fact that it's in a soundstage, really makes this house stand out above everything else. So, yeah, that's my number 5. I go to my number 4 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is Nightingale's Blood Pit. Now, when this got announced, I was excited because I finally get to see the Nightingales after seeing them at 25 in Jax Presents 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem, when one of them spit in my mouth. I kid you not, they like, remember, they're like, they're like, water, you're a whore. That's what they did. And it was fun, but now that we get to see them in Romanian times, like, it's Romanian times, right?
Roman
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ancient Rome in the Colosseum and their gladiators. I think this is going to be really freaking dope, and I can't wait to see this unfold completely. It's going to be a fun little Sprungtown house. It's going to be claustrophobic and bloody. So yeah, I like it.
Okay. That was your number 4?
Yep.
Okay. My number 4 is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Again, not expecting the scare zone at all. Like some people might be. They shouldn't be. Not expecting the scare zone at all. But I expect it to be fun. Less personality than the scare zone, obviously. But I expect it to be fun and really tell the story of the movie as best as it can. Because it's not like the movie has some advanced plot where it's hard to understand. It's a real simple plot. Everything will be easy to show. And I think it's going to be pretty good. I could see a lot of people being disappointed in it. But I think I'm really going to like it. Because if I like the houses that you're not supposed to take too serious. Unless they're like trash, then I don't like them. But I like the houses where you're not supposed to take too serious. Like a Slaughter Cinema and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's my number 4. I'm looking forward to that. And my number 3... my number 3 is Depths of Fear. Because I'm laughing because everyone has that as their number 1. So that's cool. But that's not my number 1. It's my number 3, like I just said. I've heard things. I think it's going to be probably the scariest house at the event. I have no doubt in that. But it has no reason to not be. The only reason it's not number 1 is because I'm looking forward to the other 2 more. There's nothing negative I could say about it. I'm just looking at the other 2 more. I expect it to, from what I've heard, I expect it to be ridiculously scary and dark and just scares coming from every angle and everywhere and just...
I'm expecting you to hit a right turn, then you're just going to turn around and yell at me and be like, Adrian!
Yeah, I don't
I'm edging!
Okay.
There it is.
I don't expect to be able to see anything.
That's your one per vid.
So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a greenhouse.
Alright. My number 3?
Yep.
My number 3 is something I've wanted at Horror Nights for many, 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 many years. It's Ghostbusters. Now, like he said, we know what to expect from this house, but that's what makes it good. Like, I know they're going to have so much stuff in this house from the movie that it's just going to feel like we're supposed to walk through the movies. That's what Universal is, essentially, correct? You're going and riding the movies. At Horror Nights, I feel like I walk through the movies. Did you say pause?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. But I just want to see Slimer everywhere. We had that Twitter leak. I'm not going to post it.
So there's definitely one.
There's definitely
we know
one.
there's for sure one.
We know there's one Slimer. We know Stay Puft's in there because he's on the merchandise.
They said there were Slimers and the fucking the other shit in this.
Yeah. We can put up the picture that put up today of the merchandise of the lanyard, which has Gozer, it has Slimer, it has the library ghost, and it has the dog. I don't remember what the dog's called.
I think those were Gozerts too.
Oh, that might have been Gozer's. And then, is she Zool? She's not Zool.
Yeah, I think Zool is Zool the dogs.
I don't know.
It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. I can't remember which one's which.
And the dogs are Gozerd or Zool. It's one of those two.
I just feel like it's going to have such fun scares, and it's going to be like a way better version of a Goofy house. So, and it's in a soundstage, so they can't fuck it up.
Like the Goofy movie?
Like the Goofy movie, exactly. It's going to be like Goof Troop, but scary.
Wait, did you mean goofy as in like a house not to take serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant goofy.
No, I meant goofy. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
All right, and now my number 2. No.
That's how numbers work.
My number 2 is Universal Monsters, and when this got announced, I was excited. He said we've seen the monsters before, but what?
I'm done.
No?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Alright. So Universal Monsters, it's something I've wanted to see as a full-fledged house. Like, I got a little, like, taste when I went through 25
edge.
years. I got a little edge when I went through 25 years and I got to see Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the Bride of Frankenstein. Why did I almost forget who it was? It's supposed to be like the Bride
of Chucky.
the Bride of Chucky.
Saw her there.
Saw Tiffany. Got to see. I think it was the Dracula scene, Dracula 2000, when it had all the women. Was the Mummy was there.
Was the Mummy there?
I don't remember. Okay,
I don't think so.
we're not gonna talk about that.
Been, but I don't think so.
But I just love how it's a twisted version of the monsters. It's not the same monsters we're used to seeing. It's a new design, and I feel like it's gonna be great to see. I'm excited for it. So yeah, go ahead with your.
My number 2 is Us. It's the shortest name in here by far.
Oos.
Do
Do you mean United States?
No. The Jordan Peele movie. And I'm just... I remember when this was rumored, and I was so excited for it.
And then it
was rumored more, and I was so excited for it.
Remember when we called it on our speculation forever ago?
Yeah, and then they
the speculation
and then they
dropped?
chopped Tooth Fairy, and I'm like, oh shit, this could be real. And I was excited for Tooth Fairy, so that's great.
That's anything to go by.
And then they talked about Us, and then we got Us, and I was even more excited. And now I'm excited and scared. I'm very scared. Not scared of the house. I'm very scared that it's going to be bad. Because I really think it could be bad. But I'm very excited for it. That's why it's number 2. I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
And
he does. Trust me. We talked about it a lot.
I don't want to say anything else because I'm scared. That's my number 2. Not my number 1.
Number 1. This is a 20-minute video?
My number 1 is Nightingale's Blood Pit. It's been my number 1 since they announced it. I'm pretty sure it was just locked in at number 1 for me. I think this house is going to be fucking incredible.
The sets are going to be nice.
I think this house is going to be like on the level of like what Body Collectors was that year. Obviously, there's no 25 years to combat it, but I think it's going to be on that kind of level. I think this house is going to be fucking ridiculous. It sucks. I don't like that it's in a Sprung tent, but it's okay. I'm so excited.
Sprung tent houses have like statistically one house of the year more than.
That's a stupid stat. It doesn't mean anything. And so I forgot everything because of that. There's going to be a lot of blood.
Guts.
A lot of sounds, probably arrows whooshing at you. A lot of sounds.
A lot of sounds. And
just
I'm dying.
I think it's gonna be incredible. That's my number 1.
All right, like he said, since his thing got announced, that was his number 1. When this got announced, it was my number 1. Before I heard all the hype for this, before I heard everyone talking about all the characters in it and all this shit, I don't care. Depths of Fear is my number 1. Why? Here's why. Just the fact that you're underwater is terrifying to a lot of people. I mean, have you ever been trapped, like, not trapped.
Underwater? Nope, can't say I have. Alright.
Have you ever been, like, at SeaWorld?
Shit, I just fucked up everything.
It's alright. Have you ever been at SeaWorld and, like, you're going...
And then you fell in the Shark Tank and
No!
you were trapped in there? No, I haven't been. Do they have Shark Tanks? Don't think so.
Yeah, they have Shark Tanks.
Have you ever been trapped in the whale cage under... Cage? Nope. Nope. Have you ever been trapped in the whale... In the
you ever been trapped inside the whale?
Have you ever been in the whale? Have you ever been trapped inside the whale?
Inside the whale.
That's how it feels.
That's what Depths of Fear is going to be like. You're just going to be in the whale.
Your depths, because you just progressively get deeper into the whale's asshole.
And then you come out and you're just edging out of the bottom of the whale. And then you just... That's the end of that.
Shit. That's, you know how they say there's a countdown? The countdown is you shitting out of the whale.
it's like gonna get darker and more rapid because of the countdown. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
because the whale has to shit.
the way I
more
look
and
at
more.
it. The beginning of the house is gonna look a lot like what was that scare zone called?
Dead Man's Wharf.
Dead Man's Wharf. It's gonna be bright and vibrant with scares, and then it's gonna progressively.
Bright?
It was bright.
That was not bright.
It was vibrant though. Alright,
What
and
does
then,
vibrant mean?
vibrant means bright, but like colorful
wasn't
bright.
bright. It was
They had a lot of
blue.
black light.
It was just blue. It was blue with occasional black light.
Okay. Well, okay. So you keep going, right? And then it's progressively going to get darker and it's going to feel more like dead exposure type of thing because it's going to be dark. And then the scares are going to be just like it, but instead of strobe white lights, it's going to be strobe black lights. That's what I think is going to happen. And I feel like it has potential to be a really good house.
What's a strobe black light?
It's like a black light,
Oh,
but
black
it's a
light
strobe.
is a strobe,
It's a black strobe light.
Or they're just gonna pull like the fucking. They're gonna pull the fucking hive shit and just have like glowing things on their face and just pop out at you.
That's not bad.
when
That's
the
not
house
that
gets
bad. That's not that bad. Because that's when I started liking Hive more, when they added that paint. Check us out tomorrow when the Scare Zone video will be uploading. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below your top 10 list. Because why not? Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And... Mom? Mom? Stay excellent, my dudes.